channels.
Okay.
It doesn't have to be perfect, you know.
Okay, so
Hello.
Yes,
hello.
Hello, people of YouTube that somehow like our channel for no apparent reason, the funness of Minecraft, of all that kind of stuff.
Yes, hello.
I
We've got a
can't-
very
This is a special episode.
Thank you.
A very, very special episode for certain viewers that might tolerate our, our
Antics?
talks. You know, I'm pretty sure you heard it before in our videos of our maturity talking.
We're very mature people,
Totally
as you've all
mature.
noticed, because we
Yes.
just love to say butts and penises. Butts.
And boobs. Don't forget
Boobs. Can't forget the boobs.
Can't forget
So
boobs.
this
no.
episode, we're going to show you just how mature we are, which actually aren't mature at all.
Yes.
And this is a Minecraft episode, so you can't skip it. But if you would like to be terrified, then hang around.
Worse than the SCP video.
Yes. This is going to contain a lot of us just bursting into laughter for no reason.
Yes. This is just us being stupid and weird.
Now you're probably like, what's going to happen?
Yes.
I'm sorry to disappoint you. We're just going to be reading a story. However, it is a threesome Dolphin gay sex story that you can actually get on the Amazon for $3. Are you just so excited to go buy it?
So excited.
It is magnificently written, so much so that you might get, I don't know, internal explosions or something.
You'll be bleeding from your ears.
Your intestines will melt before the superiority of the story of Dolphins.
In a three-way.
It's gonna make you salty.
Oh my.
Oh my indeed.
Oh gosh. Okay. This is gonna be so hard to read.
Okay, I'm up first as we decided, so
Yes.
let's just get right into this. Stop laughing.
I'm trying.
This story that we found, this gem, is called Freeway by the Sea by Jessica Vane. Pardon me if I screw up one of the words in this sentence. I honestly don't know what it is.
There's some words that are mystery.
Yes. Jerry stepped off the gangplank of research vessel Nereid, easily hoisting his duffel bag over his tanned shoulders. He pushed back the dark hair falling into his eyes and joined the small group already on shore, his fellow researchers, looking as grubby and disoriented as he felt. The water samples and data had already been safely offloaded. Now he just had to check in with the harbor master, say a few words, and he could head home and get some much-needed rest. Congratulations, we're through the first paragraph.
Yay!
Yay!
Responsibility didn't sit lightly on Jerry. He'd been a shy, closeted kid all through college, only coming out in grade school. Wait, no, that's grad school. For a minute there, I thought she was missing an E.
Grade school. That would be interesting. Okay, kitties, it's share and tell. Today, I kissed a boy.
Oh, God.
He often felt, or still felt like that shy kid. Wait, you're a shy kid in college? Despite now having the respect of his colleagues and enough lovers over the years to confirm his attractiveness, the years of hiding had left their mark. He still had trouble believing that people would really listen to him when he talked, and he was still easily intimidated when he met an interesting... Jerry shook his head, trying to clear it. Get through the next 15 minutes and he could daydream all he wanted. "Noon, catch anything?" said Harbor Master John. I'm not the best voice actor.
Those are gonna be my...
Do your best.
It was an old joke between them. Just the usual, said Jerry. Wait, I should probably... Nah, screw it. Said Jerry, shifting a little, trying to minimize the bulge in his shorts. They had a strictly professional relationship, but he'd had long admired the man's arms bulging with muscle, his smooth olive skin. I'm still trying to figure out why green skin is attractive. Olive skin drawn over the hawk nose, the way his cropped dark hair was going salt and pepper at the temples. There was strength to Ron that was soothing to be around. He'd never go after Ron, though. He wasn't even sure the guy was gay. So he enjoyed these moments as fantasy fodder, nothing more. Just then, there was a commotion right behind him. He and Ron turned, and an expensively dressed man staggered forward. If you'd missed his bloodshot eyes or the way he teetered, all you had to do was smell him to know he was beyond drunk. Hey, he slurred, swayed in the late afternoon sun. I have a right to get on my boat. He came right up to Ron, who looked displeased at as the fumes hit him full in the face. He was trailed by one of the new assistant harbor masters, a nervous-looking man whose skin was still peeling from its first sunburn. Sir, Ron, I've told him he can't go out in this condition. The assistant shook his head. But he's not listening. Excuse me, said Ron, turning fully to face the man. You are drunk and a menace to navigation. You are not going out on the water. Leave my people alone and walk away now. The man's eyes crossed, focused on Ron, and he bellowed, You can't tell me what I do!
It's really spelled like that.
And he lifted his arms to throw a punch. In one swift movement, Ron grabbed his fist, wrapped his arms around the man who ineffectually squirmed and protested, and slung the drunk over his shoulder like a parent putting a toddler in time out. He set his wiggling burden in front of a wooden mooring, grabbed a length of rope, whipped it around the man several times, and tied it. There was some scattered applause which caused Ron to look up and glower. Call the police to pick this asshole up. I'll be in my office. With that, he stalked off to the little white building on the dock that served as the harbor master's office and slammed the door so hard the windows rattled. The nervous-looking assistant harbor master shook his head. I don't know what's up with Ron. He's been like this all day. I mean, the guy was a jerk, but... He shook his head and pulled out a cell phone to call the cops.
My turn. Jerry figured it was time to wrap things up before anything else happened. Okay, he said. I'd call this a good trip. We got what we needed. There's some nice observing out there. Everyone has a ride home who needs one. That was the worst grammar in the world. There was a chorus of yeses. Oh, oops. There was a chorus of yeses. I don't need a ride, piped up Kyle, one of the interns. More specifically, he was the intern Jerry had been avoiding for several months. Usually it was easy to remain professional, but Kyle is different. Like all other interns, Kyle was finishing up his junior year in college, but he stood out from the bunch with his confidence and easy manner, everything Jerry had longed to be during his own college years. He had brown hair that streaked blonde in the sun, a slim muscled build, and full lips and an impish face. That sounds really unattractive. He didn't look like a Greek god, but he didn't look like someone the Greek god might kidnap and whisk away. Oh, but he did look like someone a Greek god might kidnap and whisk away to Mount Olympus. I might get lost walking home, though. He smiled directly at Jerry and gave him a wink. Wink!
Ooh.
Jerry swallowed hard. Kyle was wearing nothing but a pair of jean cutoffs that had started out ratty and frayed and now were one giant fray barely encasing Kyle's ass and cock. Jerry was acutely aware that he hadn't bathed properly for a week, and his brown hair was crusted with salt, and he needed a shave. Well, Kyle, if you can't find your apartment, I'm off duty and I'm going to get some sleep. Everyone else do the same. See you in the lab in a couple of days. Jerry winced internally at the stuffiness of his tone. There was probably less than 10 years between them, but he was making such an effort to remain professional that he ended up sounding like his own father. There's some more goodbyes, and people headed out to their cars or called loved ones asking for a ride home. Jerry lived in town too, so he shouldered his duffel again and started walking down the pier. When he reached landward end, he looked back to see that Ron had opened the door to the harbor master's office, and he and Kyle were avidly engaged in conversation. Jerry shook his head. He couldn't figure out what on earth they could be talking about, although Kyle was incredibly social and likely to start a conversation. Oh, yeah, social, that's where they use these days. Start a conversation with anyone about anything. This is the next scene. Kyle, for his part, was almost dancing with excitement. He'd had his eye on a senior scientist for several months, and Kyle was pretty sure the shorts had gotten to him. He had a brief little smile at how he'd ripped the jean shorts further in his bunk that morning and realized that Ron was glaring at him. "You're being pissy," said Kyle. "Yes, and you're being reckless. I'm serious," Ron growled. "Don't be late. When the high tide coincides with the full moon, it happens sooner than you think."
Okay, we're good now.
Oh, okay. Are we good for real?
Yes.
Okay, Fraps. Jeez. Where was I?
Just when it was
The
getting
hot-
good.
The hot water ran through his dark hair, down his muscled shoulders, and down his ass. He exhaled with deep satisfaction as he felt the crusted salt and grime rinse off of his skin. Ugh, ew. He'd already washed his hair once. This is one of the best parts about getting off the boat, getting clean after being unable to shower for a week. He turned to face the shower head and reached for the soap. Oh! He worked a lather between his hands and ran them over his body. At first, he's more interested in getting clean, but the touch of his lathered fingers on his nipples gave him a little shiver of pleasure that translated down to his cock. He closed his eyes as he ran his lathered hands up and down his muscled torso, imagining a fantasy lover. He rinsed off most of the soap and lathered his hands again. He then placed one hand around the shaft of his large, fully erect cock. With the other, he cupped his balls, caressing them. Being able to jerk off in peace was one of the other best parts about getting off the boat. Okay, Beth, you want to pick up?
Oh, God.
I don't know if I can top that. Pun intended.
We can do this.
I can do this. Jerry closed his eyes and thought of Kyle and his grin and how his blonde hair got blonder as the week went on. How does that work?
I don't know.
He then thought of his slender but beautifully muscled chest. Sorry, the sentence is like half cut off, so it's hard to tell what's written.
His nipples.
His nipples that Jerry longed to bend down.
Speak up a little bit, Beth. You're kind of going quiet.
I'm sorry.
I know we're trying so hard not to be giggly.
His nipples that Jerry longed to bend down and suck and maybe take in his hands and twist. Jerry's hand gripped his shaft harder.
You're getting quieter, Beth.
Yeah, your mic is like getting quiet.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. I'm trying to reading this out loud without laughing.
That's okay. Just hold the mic really close to your mouth.
Yes. Eat it. Yes. Eat it and love it. Wait, where do you put it? Yes.
He began to work slowly, luxuriously, stroke up and down, his other hand caressing and playing. I don't know why I keep laughing at this word.
Oh, gosh.
His other hand caressing and playing with his balls. I'm the worst, I'm sorry. The soap lather providing a sensual layer of slipperiness. He was still thinking of Kyle, but then he smiled as he remembered Ron grabbing that stupid drunk and tying him up. Remembering those thickly muscled arms lifting the man without any effort, he slowed down his stroke, lingered out his caress of his rod.
I'm trying. I really am trying. Oh my god. Okay. Okay, go on.
Good.
Yes.
He spread his fingers wide, imagining the larger man's hands down there. That doesn't work.
It doesn't.
He imagined that the older man would have rough hands, and he ran his fingernails over his shaft. Also doesn't work. Not that I would know from experience, but...
No, we don't have cocks. We're just guessing here.
The two fantasies mingled. Oh ho! We're starting to get into the title here. Yeah.
Do you need me to pick it up?
I think I'm good. I've only got one more paragraph.
Okay.
He imagined Kyle's full lips on his cock, and he worked his thumb on the tip of the glands, the slick pre-cum mingling with the rich lather. Do you know how much that would burn?
A lot.
Very much. He imagined kissing Ron, the firm lips and the stubble scratching his face. He circled his thumb more rapidly and grabbed his balls harder, groaning slightly. Jerry pictured Ron bent over, those shorts dropping to the floor. Why is he imagining him in shorts in the shower?
I don't know.
'Cause he can.
I guess. Who am I to judge others' fantasies? Jerry imagined separating those lean buttocks, finding Kyle's...
Buttocks.
It's buttocks.
Buttocks.
I know buttocks is fun, but it's buttocks.
Buttocks.
Finding Kyle's pucker and easing his cock slowly in. The speed of his strokes increased. Now both hands were on his shaft, working back and forth rapidly. He thought of Ron behind him, pressing his cock hard against his buttock. Reaching around to twist his nipples, biting his neck, pulling his head back to master his mouth with his lips. He pressed his thumb hard into the glands and groaned in release. That was the least professional way I could have read that.
You might want to pull your mic away just a little bit, because you're getting a lot of yes. Poof. We're getting lots of poofs.
Spurting all over, his cum mingling with the water. He... I just thought of gushers, I'm sorry.
He gushered.
Gushing.
He gushed. Continued to work his cock, and he bent his knees slightly and leaned against the shower wall, gasping.
Boy.
Like we are?
Yes, we're laughing.
Yes, but we are kind of gasping in some way.
But not
that way.
Yeah, oh no, not that way, no.
My hands in near my junk.
Oh, Aisha. Are you sure?
Yes.
How can we be certain?
Good point.
Anyway,
That's something that we'll think later.
Scene. Next scene. After showering, he got dressed and did a few chores around the apartment. Then Jerry went out to one of his favorite restaurants, a place that wasn't crowded this early in the season. He indulged in a steak and washed it down with a good dark beer. Yes, 'cause that sounds delicious. Paid his bill and headed home. The heavy meal and the beer made him tired, and he stretched out on the couch and intended to catch up on the newspapers, but fell asleep within 5 minutes. A few hours later, he woke up and couldn't get back to sleep. During the trip, he'd gotten used to always hearing the other people and the noise and movement of the boat as it rocked on the waves. The silence and the stillness of his apartment were getting to him. He grabbed his sleeping bag and headed outside. A great full moon shone down. He'd forgotten it was... Foreshadowing!
Foreshadowing. Gotta love them foreshadowing.
He'd forgotten it was a full moon tonight, although someone had been discussing it on the boat. He lived at the edge of town, a short distance away from the ocean, and he could just barely hear the lapping of the waves. It was surprisingly bright outside. He walked purposefully. A natural spit of land curved out into the ocean, with a beach on either side. His favorite beach was the side that faced the ocean. The water was deeper here, and it...
What?
Nothing.
And it had a wilder feel than the other side. My side's better than your side.
And apparently, only one beach faces the ocean. What?
You walked through the... That is a weird word.
Yeah.
He walked through the scrub, brushes, and grasses until he found the path that led down to the water. He picked his way down and sat himself in a natural hollow where the bushes came almost all the way to the beach. The moonlight was so bright he could see far out into the ocean's horizon. It was still unseasonably warm, but cooler than it had been. The sleeping bag felt cozy, but not stifling. He could see a couple of dolphins playing far out in the ocean, the moonlight glistening on their sleek gray bodies. He inhaled deeply of the salt air, listened to the steady dragging of sound of the waves, closed his eyes, and promptly fell asleep. Next scene.
Next scene is where it starts to get interesting.
Again.
When it's not
Really
interesting.
interesting. There's like 2 more scenes before this awful story is over. Hang on, guys.
We can do this.
I can hear him fapping.
Okay. One more paragraph and then we switch.
Okay.
He woke up just before sunrise. The moon was low in the lightening sky. He yawned and stretched and felt the loose sand shift under his sleeping bag, surprisingly comfortable. He looked out at the ocean, and somewhat to his surprise, the dolphins were still there and very close to shore. The water was very deep on this side, so you've said, but there was still the possibility of them stranding. It's called beaching.
Seriously.
He watched them closely with some concern. The air around them began to shimmer, much like the heat mirages you see on a road on a hot day. The dolphin silhouettes seemed to shrink and pull inward, and a moment later, there were 2 nude men splashing in the water.
Speaking instead of women splashing, it's
Oh, God.
Tee-hee!
Okay. Oh,
Fuck
man.
this.
Okay. Jerry sat up suddenly and rubbed his eyes. While he was trying to comprehend what he'd just seen, the 2 men swam close to the shore and walked up onto the beach. One was young, with a slim, muscled body and a mop of light brown hair with blonde streaks. This hair sounds awful! The other was a burly, older man, with black hair with salt and pepper at the temples. Yeah, we know, you described that earlier, too. Jerry felt dizzy and aroused. Oh. Besides witnessing a transformation he never would have thought possible, seeing the objects of his fantasy naked in the early morning light was exciting. His eyes hungrily took in the details. Ron had more scars than he'd imagined, about as much body hair as he thought, and his cock was thicker than Jerry's wildest imaginings. Kyle's skin was...
He's bare.
Yes.
Yes.
The bear dolphin.
How does that work? He'd be eating himself, you know.
Hey, some of the things I've seen on Amazon.
Oh, no. Kyle's skin was smooth and taut over his slim muscle torso, and his tan lines highlighted beautifully rounded buttocks and audaciously jutting rod. Jerry felt his cock throb in response. As the two men emerged from the water and stepped onto the beach, Kyle grinned, but there was something menacing to it, like he was baring his teeth. Is he a shark now? Then he ran at... Okay, this part's stupid. Then he ran at Ron, who caught him by the forearms. They strained against each other for a moment. Kyle managed to lean forward enough to dig his teeth against Ron's upper arm. Even in the dim light, Jerry could see Ron's grimace of pain. Then the youngster hooked his leg around the dark-haired man's solid leg and managed to knock him over. Ron fell to the ground and lay there still. Kyle leaned... What? Why would they be wrestling? Kyle leaned over when Ron's powerful arm snaked up and grabbed his shoulder, pulling Kyle down with a yelp. Ron flipped Kyle over onto his back and pinned him with the knee, pressing into his chest. Kyle tried unsuccessfully to get up. Ron's muscles strained but never budged. Finally, Kyle seemed to give up and said something that Jerry didn't quite catch. Ron nodded and slid... Pretty much. Oh god. Ron nodded and slid forward, his thick legs straddling Kyle's head, and his large cock dangled over the young man's mouth. Kyle began to tongue the head, and Ron leaned forward. Jerry shifted. His erection was becoming uncomfortable. He reached his hand down his sleeping bag, eased it out of his shorts, and grabbed his restless man meat. Man meat! This is actually in the story. The older man's back began to glisten with sweat as youngster lifted his head to swallow more of his ever-thickening rod. Jerry unzipped the sleeping bag to give his hands free play. The cool morning air gently teased his balls, and they retracted slightly, drawing tight underneath his ever-increasing cock. Ron reached down and shoved his meat fully into Kyle's full-lipped mouth and began fucking it hard, slapping it against his face. The youngster gave a muffled oomph, but kept pace. His legs shifted in response to his own cock pulsing in the early morning light. Jerry worked his hand harder. He wanted to feel that mouth on his shaft.
Lighthouse.
Oh my god. Jerry worked his hand harder. He wanted to feel that mouth on his shaft, take that cock into his own mouth, and he moaned. At the sound, Kyle and Ron both froze. Jerry froze too. Ron looked around and hauled himself up decisively. What? He walked directly over to Jerry's stand of bushes. Jerry then remembered that dolphins had excellent hearing, far better than humans. Oh, that's good to know. With his large hands, Ron parted the bushes and peered in. You, he interjected. Enjoy the show? He seemed somewhat amused, but there's a little edge to his voice. Kyle popped up next to him, brushing away sand, his grin almost as large as his erection. Hi, Jerry, he said. I hope to hell you can keep a secret, because you're going to have some problems if you can't, Ron said. Of course, if you tell anyone the whole story, they're going to think you're crazy. Who are you? Yes, and then kill you. Who are you? Jerry blurted. It was a strange question to be asking someone he'd known for years. Ron looked proud. Well, let's just say I have some responsibilities you don't know about. Kyle here is joining, our group, so I'm showing him the ropes. He means he needs to show me who's boss, said Kyle. That too, Ron said. So what I saw, Jerry found. Damn. Ron and Kyle both started laughing. We have our ways of working things out. Kyle moved forward a little more. He's very close to Jerry now. That cock was swinging just inches from Jerry's mouth. Jerry couldn't take his eyes off of it. Just so you know, said Kyle slyly, we have no problem working things out with regular humans. Ron grinned. No, indeed we do not. But I think we should probably go somewhere more private.
And hopefully less covered in sand.
I know. Oh, it's just like in our butt cracks and everywhere.
Oh my gosh. Breathe, guys. You can do this. You can do this.
There's 2 more pages here, and they're both awful.
Oh
Yeah.
It's the revealing sexing thing.
Didn't we already have that?
The sex scene is so bad.
That's okay. This scene has one of my
Not
favorite
that we're
lines.
experts on that kind of thing, but you know, we know what's
Of
bad,
course.
what's good.
I just know that
You guys, Lexi wants to hear us reading it. Should I add her in for the last 2 awful pages?
Sure.
go for
YouTube
it.
people will hear Lexi for the first time.
Welcome to the group, Lexi.
I have to add,
Okay,
huh?
she's...
Yeah.
Or do you...
I can add her. She's
Okay.
getting headphones right now, so give her like 2 seconds. Yeah, you guys get to hear another friend who will also be laughing with us.
Woo!
Yes. We're almost done.
But you just take a little breather. Reading that is really painful.
It is.
Like, especially when you write, reading that just,
Tell me about it.
There, guys.
Grammar?
There.
What's grammar?
He can do this. Now, I forgot, how old was this person who did this? Was it
I don't know.
say?
The lady?
She says she has a daughter, so
Yeah, the lady who wrote this lives with her lesbian partner and has a daughter.
Okay.
and just
I'm
as a
not gonna say
reminder,
much.
this is Three Way by the Sea by Jessica Vane, now available on Amazon for $2.99.
Order it now. But wait,
No,
if you order it tonight...
no, seriously, go support her because we need more of this.
Oh my god. We really managed to get her popular or something.
Oh, probably not, but hey.
I know. Hey, you know, I'm still getting subscribes on my channel, so I think we actually hit almost 450.
Good lord.
Nuts! It's
Oh,
nuts!
and we're giving them this. We're
And we're giving them
story.
this.
Yes, we are totally giving them this.
Whatever this is, they're getting it.
Yep. Yep.
Good lord.
I'm just watching my Corey. Just going.
I'm sure that's exciting.
It is so exciting. Well, it got stolen. So I got, told the admin, like, hey, my Corey's gone. So I got it back. That's why I suddenly gasped. So I was like, gosh darn it, someone stole it. So I got the admin to give it back to me, so yeah. Even though I could get my brother to make some, but he makes so much stuff for me as is, so it's like, I'm just gonna ask for help.
Mm-hmm.
And thankfully, I got it back. So now I'm just watching it dig. Dig, 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 diggy, 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 dig, 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 dig. It's booking it. It's just going. Whew. Go faster. I know you can go faster. Go, my Corey, go.
Is Lexi here yet?
I'm pretty sure she'll
She said
announce
she's-
her presence.
She's getting headphones. I guess we can keep reading until she gets her headphones.
No,
Okay,
we
so-
only have 2 pages.
Oh,
We only
yeah.
have 2 pages, so...
2 really badly written pages.
I found a...
So far, we've read 4 pages, so we're almost there.
This is
If
the
you
final
are still
stretch.
there, though, you get cookies.
Cookie!
Yes, we will bake you cookies and send them in the mail.
Oh, this is so pretty. Wee.
Okay, I need to find where my favorite line is. Am I gonna read
Gush.
it or you? No, there's this one line in this entire story that I absolutely love because it is so
lava.
stupid.
Okay, this is telling me that
What?
I had to call